If you like whiskey and you like fights, then I got a clash for you. Let's get going. Hey guys, Tom here. Welcome back to the Grantham Pub Underground and welcome back to the Classic Cocktail Clash. A great matchup for you today. But first, we got to do some results from the previous rounds. The last couple of rounds we did, if you recall, we did one in the drinking bracket, which featured the Americano versus the Boulevardier. Now, if you remember, these are both drinks that were very Campari forward. They were bitter. They were like European style drinks. They were made from European bars, I think mainly in Italy, because that's where Campari comes from. And the Americano was the one with Campari, Vermouth, and soda, whereas the Boulevardier was bourbon, Vermouth, and Campari. Very similar flavors. One was a little beefier than the other because it was all booze, where the other had some soda in it to kind of lighten it up. Very mixed results because either you like bitter or you don't. I happen to be a don't. I put my vote in, you put your vote in. I got votes from all over. And the winner of that round was the Americano. I don't think our flavor favors, should we say. I don't think we like bitter as much as Europeans do. So the Americano is a little bit less so, and that was what took that round. The next round, the next matchup we did was a really good one. That featured the Dark and Stormy versus the Cosmopolitan. Dark and Stormy, great classic drink. And it was the Dark and Stormy, so we used Gosling's Gold Seal Rum, Gosling's Ginger Beer, a little bit of lime, and a great refreshing drink. And that went up against the Cosmo from the 90s, Sex and the City, vodka, lime, orange liqueur, and cranberry juice. Again, another really good drink. Put it out there for the vote. And this one, surprisingly, wasn't even really that close. The winner of this one, as I suspected, was the Dark and Stormy. I mean, Dark and Stormy is just a really good drink. So today on this clash, we are moving to the Boozy Bracket. Haven't done much in the Boozy Bracket other than the drink-ins. So we have a good matchup which features the Mint Julep versus the Manhattan. Classic drinks, both of them. And the mint julep, I got to go back to my notes again. The mint julep goes back to the 18th century when it first appeared in a book called Travels of 4.5 Years in the United States of America. This was a guy named John Davis wrote this book around 1803. And he characterized the mint julep as a dram of spirituous liquor that has mint steeped in it. As you know, the mint julep is the signature drink of the Kentucky Derby. You go down there the first weekend in May, women wear their big hats, everybody dresses up, it's a real good time, and they drink mint juleps. It's a good drink, provided you have mint in your garden, which we are overrun with mint, and when we get to this, I'll give you a little secret about mint. Next, it's going up against the Manhattan. Manhattan, again, as you can imagine, has its roots in New York City at strangely enough, a place called the Manhattan Club around 1880 or so, as legend has it. It's just basically become a pillar in the world of classic cocktails. So it's a great drink, and I think if you enjoy whiskey, this is a drink that I think you would really enjoy. So we're going to start with the Manhattan, and I say it's a whiskey drink, but I'm actually going to use rye. Why? Because that's what I'm going to use. And I'm going to use about 2 ounces of rye. You can use blended whiskey, you can use bourbon, anything you like. I wouldn't say Scotch, because if you use Scotch, you're no longer making a Manhattan, you are making a Rob Roy. And then you need some sweet vermouth. Again, sweet vermouth is just a fortified wine that you should keep in your fridge, because just of the way it's made, it will last longer in your fridge. So it's 1 ounce of that. And then I need a couple dashes of bitters. I'm going to use some Angostura. Ice. And just give it a stir. Chilled cocktail glass is in order for this. Get our strainer. Then a cherry. If you have a brandy cherry, would be good. I didn't have a brandy cherry, but I did have a spiked cherry. So I'm going to use that from our good friends at Howie's. Shout out to the guys at Howie's. Love their cherries. And that's a perfect classic cocktail, the Manhattan. Okay, next up is the mint julep. Now traditionally, a mint julep is made in a julep cup. It's like this silver, kind of looks like this, like a Boston shaker cup, but it's a little fancier. I don't have one of those, so I'm just going to make it in a good old-fashioned tumbler. I need about 6 or 7 or 8 mint leaves. Oh, and I promised you a little tip about mint. As you know, mint is basically, if you put mint in your garden, don't put it with anything else. It will overrun it. But the cool thing about mint is, A, it always comes back. So that was 8 mint leaves as I'm telling you this story. And next we need just a little bit of simple syrup, only about 1/4 ounce. And again, this, you can adjust this to your sweetness. Mint, we grow it in pots, but what happens is it kind of overruns the pot, and then it'll stop growing because the pot gets completely root bound. What I have tended to do, and I've done this 3 or 4 times, is I dump it out, shake out all the dirt, put the dirt back, get all the old dead stuff out, and usually in the roots around somewhere you can find a couple little runners that are smaller than this. It'll just be like a stick with this. It's some like hairy stuff going on. You plant those and it completely comes back again to a giant full pot. It's really cool. And you can do that like for a long time. So just give this a little bit of a muddle. I mean, you don't have to go crazy. You're just kind of bruising up the mint a little. I probably put just a touch too much sugar in there, but that's all right. Got it all over, so let me. And then bourbon. This, we need 2 ounces of bourbon. And then you need crushed ice. Now, Jesus, did you see that? Don't do what I did. And you have to pack it with ice. And I'm gonna make a mess, and I'm gonna have to clean it up. So you pack it with ice, that's why you have a bar rail. And then you gotta stir it until it's well chilled. And this would happen faster in the julep cup because it's metal. They say stir it until the glass is frosted. This is not gonna happen as much with this glass. So I'm gonna say we're well chilled. And then you want to pack more ice in there. You actually say you want to dome the ice. I'm not going to dome ice because I'm already making a big enough mess. And then you need a little garnishment, and it's a mint julep, so of course I'm going to garnish with some more mint. And I'll put a little stir in there. And that's drink number 2. The mint julep. Okay, now is time for the best part of the day, where we get set for ready, drink. I'm going to try the Manhattan first. I've made millions of Manhattans in my life. I'm going to tell you, I've never had one. It's definitely a sophisticated drink. I made it with rye, so it's a little bit it's a little bbit burny. I'll be honest with you. It's got a little bite to it because of the rye. But yeah, I mean, this is like, my dad used to drink Manhattans. My godfather used to drink Manhattans. People, like, I would think back in the 60s, this was a drink you drank. Again, I know I said that about the Godfather. But I bet guys in advertising agencies, they went out and they drank Manhattans and they smoked and they had their thin time. I mean, that to me, that's, a smoke-filled room, guys drinking Manhattans. That's what I think of when I think of this drink. So, but I mean, it's a good drink. If you're a whiskey drinker and you want something a little more sophisticated than just drinking a glass of whiskey, have at it. That's the drink you want to try. So next, we visit Churchill Downs and the mint julep. See, I like bourbon, so it actually, for my taste, I would make it a little sweeter. I think when you're making a drink like this, that's what you have to do. You have to make it once the way it's classically supposed to be made, and then adjust it to your taste after. Yeah, that's a nice drink too. So that's it, guys. 2 fantastic classic cocktails for you to try. Go out with a friend, partner, loved one, family member, whoever. Get 2 of them, try them both, then come back, visit us, make your vote. You can make a vote here. You can make a vote on Instagram. You can make a vote on Twitter. You can call me up and tell me what you want. If I see you on the street, you can tell me what you like. I don't care, just as long as you tell me which one you think is better and deserves to move on in the classic cocktail clash. And while you're at it, subscribe to the Grantham Pub Underground, so when there's a new clash, a taste test, a happy hour, restaurant drinks, whatever we got going on, shot shorts, you can check it out and see it and all the fun stuff that's going around here And if you like what you see and you can leave us a tip. There's a way for you to do that below too. That would help us out, but you're certainly not obligated. We just like having you here because we have a good time and we want you to have a good time too. And if you're going to drink, remember, drink like a pirate. But pirates are responsible people. They don't drink and drive. They don't plunder and drink and plunder. They don't drink and sail their ships. And you shouldn't either. Just have a good time. And if you come see us, the great part about it is you don't have to go anywhere. You just have a good time with us, and then you go about your business and you've never touched a set of keys. Well, that's it for me. Until we meet right back here again, I'll save a seat at the bar just for you. Cheers.